Broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Tim Wilmot here from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for Goldmine 101, our regular series of short Goldmine presentations focusing on different topics in and around a Goldmine. And this afternoon, I'm going to cover what to do when a Goldmine user leaves your organization, things to consider to keep your system tidy and efficient and up to date. Now, this presentation will be fairly short, just about a quarter of an hour or so in duration. My company offers many extensive training options, and in fact, this is what we're going to be covering this afternoon is more of an advanced topic, not something that an ordinary user need concern themselves about. Something more like an administrator or the owner of the business or the owner of the system would carry out. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. If you've got any questions, please type those into the question box on your meeting control panel. I'll do my best to answer those towards the end. Probably best to type them in as you think of them rather than waiting to the very last minute. If any late questions do come in, I will answer those separately via email. Also at the end, I'll be giving an update on any Goldmine product news. This call, by the way, is being recorded. You will get an email from our system with a link to recording, maybe about in a day or so. So you get a link to recording. You can obviously play back at your leisure, and we will probably post it up on our YouTube channel as well. Okay, so let's get started. As I normally do, just a very brief mention. I know there are a few people on the call that may not know too much about us. We are Wizard Systems. We are a top supplier of Goldmine and other leading CRM systems, primarily in the UK and further afield. We've implemented well over 3,000 Goldmine systems in our time, and we offer a wide range of services around Goldmine as regards of course, providing the software and upgrades and any kind of installation you might be seeking, customization of Goldmine. We also supply a wide range of Goldmine add-ons, popular add-ons that where there's a gap in what Goldmine might do or extending its functionality. We've got some popular add-ons that we can recommend and discuss with you. We provide any sort of training at your place, our place, online, wherever, whenever. And also we've got a friendly, responsive Goldmine help desk service here as well. Okay, so what to do when someone leaves your company? So let's just pop into Goldmine here and consider what might be going on. So you have records of, presumably in your Goldmine system, you've got records of prospects and customers. Somewhere against that record, you may have the name of the person that maybe owns that record, might be called the salesperson or similar. You'll have a name there. So that would be the first thing to consider to tidy up the database. Secondly, on the pending tab of the contact record or contact records, you will have some outstanding activities for that user that might have left as well. You don't want to leave those lurking in midair. Maybe you should consider what should be done to those outstanding phone calls, or maybe meeting records that weren't completed, or outstanding sales records as well. You need to think of some kind of a plan to handle those. Well, there's two things in Goldmine to make your life slightly easier. First of all, under the Tools menu, well, they're both under the Tools menu, in fact, you have the User Settings option. Now, only an administrator can see this. So I know that there might be some shall I say, ordinary users on the call today, and there will be owners of businesses, Goldmine administrators. This is really more for you. So this is obviously where you set up users, manage their access rights, but also where you can remove them as well. So I can pick up a user here, and Goldmine does help you slightly in the process. So I can click on delete, and up pops a little dialog box prompting me now for one of four options. So going back to what I said just a little while ago about the outstanding activities for this user, what do you want to do? Maybe you want to reallocate, reassign those users' pending activities and unfiled emails that have come in and that person has done nothing with them. Where are they going to go? Do you want them to go to another user? So you'd have a drop-down list here and you could allocate it to another user. Or you might want to complete those activities with some kind of a result code to go into history to knock them on the head that way. Or you might want to, and this is probably not often used, but if you think that that user's activities no longer are important, or and en masse you want to remove them from your Goldmine system, then you can click that delete button there, or you can leave them as is for whatever reason. The important thing to note here is that with some of these options, it's going to change data in your Goldmine system, and there is no undo operation. When it's done, it's done. You've got to make sure that you've got a backup of your system. You've taken a backup just before proceeding. You've got a recent backup. You've got to satisfy yourself that that has been done. So there's some important options there to reallocate, to do something with those pending activities. Now, stepping up the scale in sophistication, something that you might have maybe used or stumbled across in the menus in Goldmine, again on your tools menu, and lurking on the data management option there, is territory realignment. Now, this is another way of moving records from person A, from salesperson A, if you like, to salesperson B. So it would be used where, as the name suggests, if you're realigning territories, somebody that looks after a certain county or postcode range, that now has been handled by somebody else. You want to change things around in your Goldmine system, or as we're talking about today, someone might be leaving the company. So what will happen is a little wizard will come up, a sequence of screens just taking you down through the sequence of selections and carry out the actual replacement process. First screen here, just as I've said already, strongly recommend that you make a backup and that you've satisfied yourself that you've verified that you've got a decent backup. So, assuming that's all right, we would click here, and we get the welcome message. Welcome to the territory realignment wizard. Just really confirming what I've said. So, first question. Over what range of records in your Goldmine system do you want this change, this very important change to take place? So it could be the whole database there if you want to, or more typically, you would choose a filter or a group, a selected list, a subset of your database to carry out this command on. So I might select a name there, some sort of, hopefully I recognize that filter by a meaningful description, or it could have been a group. So we're just now operating, we're just drilling down just on those records that match the condition under the Peter Prospects filter. Next. So this next screen is where we are changing the fields. So for example here, where I've got manager's name, Peter Johnson, that could be where I would select that salesperson's field and replace it with something else, whatever it might be. Okay, so you may have a drop-down list, you may have to manually enter it in, and you could do that with a couple of other, one other field as well, and you can change the record ownership as well. The record ownership field in Goldmine is not often used, but it's a way of hiding ring fencing records to a user or a group of users and making them effectively hidden or read only to other people in your other Goldmine users in your organization. So a couple of fields there and that record ownership field. Next. Now this is where we are reassigning the user. Slightly few more options here compared to the delete option on the user settings window. So we can now say, well, let's pick up Jan, who was leaving, and we can reassign them to Peter. We've got a choice of a date range there of the outstanding activity. And also there may be, I can't think of any, but there may be some examples where some types of activities you want to leave alone and not affect. We're also doing opportunities here also, and also unlinked activities. An unlinked activity is an action or a task that has no association with a customer. By default, whenever you schedule something in Goldmine, as in most CRM systems, it's linked to a customer record. It becomes part of their history. But there may be certain circumstances where that person had to do something that was nothing to do with a client. So that would be an example of an unlinked activity. That's the terminology that Goldmine uses. So you consider the range of activities that you want to choose there and click next. I'm not going to do it, but you hit finish, and in the background, off it would go, adjusting the salesperson field or other fields, other related fields, and exchanging the username there from one person to another. So there's a couple of things to consider in your Goldmine system as regards when a user leaves. I'd now like to open out our call to any questions that you've got, please. Could be around this feature or something related to this, or indeed any other Goldmine query or question you have, as long as it's not too technical. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions. So first question from Eli: how do I know if a backup has been done? Good question. Well, of course, there's many options on doing backups. All the data in Goldmine is in a Microsoft SQL database. So normally your administrator, I don't know whether you're the administrator, you may not be the administrator of your system, but whoever does the backups of your server, they would know about the backup of the SQL database. So within SQL itself, within Microsoft SQL itself, there are some backup options, and there are some backup software applications that will back that up as well. So check that's done, and you will be able to verify in whatever option you've got there that a backup has been done. Amy's question: will activities in history stay under the old username? Yes, they will. So if Fred has left, anything that Fred has done, previous calls, emails received, they will still have Fred's name against them. They're not touched at all, as you'd expect. Jason: does removing a user affect our user license? No, it doesn't. With Goldmine, you've got a concurrent user license. So you have a certain number of licenses. Let's say your company has got 5 Goldmine licenses. That allows you to have up to 5 people logged into the system at the same time. You can actually set up an unlimited number of users. You could have 10 users set up or 20 users set up, but at any one point in time, only 5 people can be logged in. But yeah, me removing the user has no impact on the user license whatsoever. Totally separate. Next question from Jim: if you delete a user, does that remove the auto assign function as well if they are linked to a set of postcodes? No. So what you may be referring to, Jim, is a feature of Goldmine called the lookup.ini, I believe, which I assume that you're referring to that. So no. Oh, thanks, Jim. No, it's not going to do that. That's a very good point. There are some. The lookup.ni is a very clever part of Goldmine. It's a way of when you enter in data, instantly Goldmine will do something else based on that information. So, for example, if you allocate salespeople by the postcode of the lead or prospect, let's say you put in a Birmingham postcode, and that should go to salesperson Jim. What happens if Jim leaves? You want the Birmingham postcode prospects to now go to Mary. So you'd need to. So what I've described will not affect what you've got set up, Jim. You will have to go into the lookup.i, open it up in Notepad or similar, and wherever you've got, in my example, wherever you've got the username Jim, probably in uppercase, change it to the new username. Okay, very good question there from Jim. Right, I don't think there's any more questions coming through. If any late questions come through, I will answer those separately via email. Just an update on any Goldmine product news we've got for you. Next Tuesday, we have a Goldmine Advanced course. So anyone wanting to go to the next level with their knowledge of Goldmine, that's at our Bristol Training Centre. Please contact me or Maxine here for further information or possible booking. The latest release of Goldmine is 2018.2. So we've got these major releases of Goldmine. 2018 is the last. 2018.2 is the last major release, and we've got these hot fixes as well. So we've got up to hot fix number 2 within 2018.2. And you must be on maintenance to get these upgrades. We are still the authors of Goldmine, Ivanti, Goldmine. There's still some special offers on getting back on maintenance. So if you are out of sync with your versions, you're running an old version of Goldmine, there may be a good price for you to get back on the latest version of Goldmine and back on maintenance. Again, please contact us for details. On the last call, just about a couple of weeks ago, I gave an update on the Goldmine roadmap and a new Goldmine version, a new Goldmine product coming through later in the year. And I also mentioned Goldmine User Voice. I'd just like to repeat that for anyone on the call. This is Goldmine User Voice is your chance to have a say in what you want in Goldmine. So this is by invitation only. So if you do want to access this, then you do need to ask us. But this will allow you to vote on existing ideas submitted by other people, maybe other users, and also to conjure up your own ideas as well. Also, something on the goldmine.com website that I've certainly accessed from time to time. So go to goldmine.com, go to resources, and then CRM radio. Goldmine are sort of sponsoring a US-based their podcast, basically. So if you're into podcasts, I think you can subscribe to this or come to the site here and look at previous ones. They're not relating to Goldmine, but they're more related to marketing and selling. They are American. They are a US in origin, so may not. You just got to listen to them, and there may be some gems and some things that you might pick up there, and quite a wide range of topics, and going back in time there, and some good speakers as well. Gene Marks is a very well-known US speaker on the circuit over there. Yeah, there's some good personalities that they get up there on those regular podcasts. So have a look at those. That might be quite useful for you. As I say, nothing to do really with Goldmine, but relevant to your use of a CRM system, marketing, selling in general. Okay, so Goldmine User Voice, and if you've got any suggestions for future topics, please let me know. I'd be very interested if you can think of anything that would be of a wide appeal to the Goldmine community. Please make those suggestions to me for future consideration. But we we come to the end of our call now. As I say, just a quick call on things to consider when someone is leaving your organization, a Goldmine user. Please contact us if you've got any more information, or if you have any more questions around this or any other Goldmine topic. There's my contact details and some of our other social links as well. But thanks very much for your time this afternoon, and we look forward to your attendance presence on the next call. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.